picked off. Second down one.
Tua
Fake, and here comes the East.
Tagovailoa. It's sad. It's honestly the most depressing story ever. If I'm going to be quite frank with you guys, I think Tua Tagovailoa should have retired about, I don't know, after the first concussion. Then the second one just made me... Do you remember how sad we were watching Tua literally go like this? I'm not even trying to make fun of it because it's not funny. Trust me, I laugh at the most insane, disgusting, sad things. I really do. But after watching Tua go through those concussions, be absolutely pulverized by 300-pound men every week, and he's just such a great, wholesome guy. He's one of those Hawaiians or that just will give you the food off their plate if you even asked. Like the cool uncle. Tua Tagovailoa is literally just seems like there's just the most wholesome guy ever. And the Dolphins era was just a failure. At Alabama, watching him sling those left-handed nukes in college, Alabama loved him. I loved him. I thought Tua Tagovailoa was just going to be the next big thing. And they even paired him with Jalen Waddle. They paired him with Tyreek Hill. It seems like he almost had everything. He was in Miami. You know, good things happen in Miami. They have Pitbull. They have the club called Space. They have 11. They have a lot of fun things to do in Miami. But he should have just gone in the wind. And it is honestly one of the most depressing things ever, seeing it unfold. And now the Dolphins are releasing him, or they're trying to release him. They're trying to trade him. They have no idea at this point. But he probably will not be playing for the Dolphins ever again. And this whole Dolphins era was just, I thought they had it all. I thought this was the perfect place for Tua to revive this Dolphins franchise and make them good again. I was about to do a Dolphins voice impression, but I'm going to keep that one in the vault. And this whole sort of failure and sadness run really does remind me of this whole Jim Carrey stuff. People are saying that he was cloned. People are saying Jim Carrey, the wonderful actor. The Truman Show is one of my favorite movies of all time. And Jim Carrey was just hilarious. And seeing the new Jim Carrey now walking on the red carpet, people say he got plastic surgery. And most people are saying he was cloned because Jim Carrey was coming out and saying a lot of bad things about the elites, saying about the children stuff, all this, how he hates Hollywood, how it's bad. And he seems a lot different now. It does not look like the same person. His hair's grown out. His face is different. He's acting very strange. Honestly, very scary. And it's depressing to watch. I'm like, wow, I miss the old Jim Carrey. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know who this person is. Honestly, I'm very skeptical about these conspiracy theories, but this one might actually have gotten me. This might genuinely be a Jim Carrey clone. I'm actually scared. And the sadness I'm seeing in this new Jim Carrey's eyes, yeah, no, I'm Jim Carrey. No, I am. Is the same sadness I'm seeing from Tua Tagovailoa and his whole Dolphins era. It's like watching him concuss. It's like each new time he comes back from a concussion, it's like a different version of him. There's a new clone of him that's just trying so hard to be smiley and be Tua Tagovailoa, be a great guy, be a leader for the Dolphins. And it's just not the same. Exact same scenario with Jim Carrey. Every time he comes this new clone, I'm like, this is not the same person. I really hate to hope for people to retire, especially even at a young age, because Tua is still young, but I think it's time, Tua, to let it go. You were very unlucky with these concussions, with these hits. It never worked in Miami. I thought that the duo of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill would have been super sick. Now it's just sad. It really is sad. You made some great money. I think it's time. Don't be a Jim Carrey clone. Don't come back again and again and try to revive this. Tua Tagovailoa, you're too good for this. Please, it's time. Chris Godwin, the Buccaneers wide receiver who literally catches everything. It really does hold a special place in my heart. My first year of playing fantasy football was about 5 years ago now. Wow. I was in high school about 6 years ago, I'd say. 6 years ago when I really got in the NFL. I believe it was 6 years ago. And this was when Chris Godwin was a sophomore. So he was coming into his second year, I believe. Jameis Winston was still there. And remember, on the board, I would watch a bunch of these fantasy football psychos on YouTube that They just knew Chris Godwin had it in him. And it was funny because like the name Chris Godwin back then was a joke. It was like, who's Chris Godwin? I thought he was just some bum. But I spent so much time studying before this fantasy football draft. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to this random nerd talking about it. I believe him. I think he was wearing a suit or something. I was like, okay, he looks like the real deal. So in our fantasy football draft, I believe it was the 4th round or 3rd round. And I drafted Chris Godwin before Stephon Diggs. And this was when Diggs was still on the Vikings, I believe. And my entire friend group, the entire room, absolutely clowned on me. Keep in mind, I barely even knew who Stephon Diggs was. I definitely didn't know who Chris Godwin was. No one knew who Chris Godwin was. I promise you this. When I put that sticker of Chris Godwin on my draft board, we had like one of those fantasy football things where you put the sticker on the thing on the draft. Everyone in my friend group, everyone in the league was taking pictures of me drafting Chris Godwin in the 3rd or 4th round. And I felt so confident about it. I was like so happy. I was like, oh, you wait. But then after being torched, like literally mentally tortured that entire draft night, people were saying I had the worst team. People were making fun of me. I remember I was getting in the car after the draft was over and people were just still laughing at me. It was still going. I thought the joke was over. You know, after the draft lasted for 4 hours, the jokes kept coming. People were laughing at my team, like Chris Godwin before Stephon Diggs. Chris Godwin the 3rd round? Who is Chris? Oh, were they wrong? Remember I believe it was the first game of that season, Chris Godwin scored a touchdown. First game. And I'm like, you just got Godwined. You just got Godwin, kid. And then every single game was doing amazing things. Even with Jameis Winston was just popping off. I believe against the Falcons, Chris Godwin had like 150 yards, 2 TDs. This is a guy who came out of literally butt hell nowhere and exploded. I think he finished that season number 2 in wide receiver rankings. And Chris Godwin is the reason I'm so into fantasy football, because you can find a gem. You can do your actual research. If you take the time, you can find these hidden gems that can win you an entire league. You can surprise all your friends, surprise yourself. And I think that's why fantasy football is so fun, because it actually rewards you for doing research and actually trying and actually knowing the game of football. I didn't even know the game of football. I just fed off other guys who knew it for me, basically. I was like, wow, it was the funniest thing ever seeing people getting, I said like, oh, you just got Godwined. Coined that phrase for myself and for my league. And people then were just like, they were like texting me before our matchups, like 10 weeks in saying, well, GG's, I'm about to get Godwined. And every single game, I thought like, oh, there's no way he does it next week. There's no way he does this again next week and next week and next week. 15, 20, 25 points, 20, 20, 20, every week. And a guy out of nowhere who I was ridiculed for, and I look like an absolute genius. People thought I somehow knew ball. People thought I was some sort of prophet, thought I was a wizard. And it's all thanks to Chris Godwin for igniting the love for fantasy football in me. Chris Godwin, I love you. We don't talk about the Daniel Jones comeback nearly as much as we should. I thought Daniel Jones on the Giants was, because he's related to the Mannings. Oh, this is why he got the job. And I thought he was quite possibly like the most punchable face, because I hated seeing someone I was so jealous. Someone making so much money, being the quarterback for the New York Giants. I mean, that's kind of a dream. That's like everyone's dream. The QB of a New York team, kind of sick. And he sucked. Terrible ass. Like, he was awful. And I was like, how did this guy was it really because the relation to the Mannings? Was it, like, what was this? Like, how is he here? People were saying, oh, Denny Dimes. New York did everything they could to believe in him. They tried. They really suffered. He'd have one huge run and everyone would be like, oh my God, Danny Dimes is that guy. He's him. And then they ended up, not believing in him anymore. And I don't blame the Giants at all. This is the first where I don't blame the Giants front office. They didn't believe anymore, as they should have, because he was terrible. And the turnaround he had on the Indianapolis Colts this year was genuinely very inspiring. I went to the Rams-Colts games this year. I'm a Rams fan. And it was one of the most fun, entertaining games ever. I think the Colts at this point had one loss, I believe. And I bet a lot of money on the Rams. And I was scared the entire time. I thought there was no way Danny Dimes keeps this up, like I know he only has one loss, but I'm like, it's Danny Dimes. He's going to fail eventually, right? The Colts still lost, but that game was genuinely so competitive, so fun. He came into the Rams stadium, which is pretty hard. I know there's not a lot of Rams fans, but it's still a very hard environment. The Rams are still obviously one of the best teams in the NFL. He put on an absolute show. And I can see, I went with one of my friends who is a Colts fan, somehow a Colts fan in LA. Not sure that works, but it is. It does. And he never lost hope. He fully, like, these Colts fans fully bought in to the Danny Dimes hype, and it was real. It sucks he got hurt, but the fact that you can turn around your entire career, you can turn around your entire reputation with just an ounce of change, switching teams, continuously believing yourself, kind of reminds me of the Sam Darnold story where he was seeing ghosts and won a Super Bowl. But this Danny Dimes turnaround was just inspiring, and it made me like never want to hate on anyone ever again, especially people that believe in themselves. And somehow, like, if you got to be an NFL quarterback at some point, then you must be great at what you do. We just didn't see it. We didn't see through all the failure, and he just kept coming, went to the Colts and showed us who he really is. So Danny Dimes, I'm sorry. And that is the chosen truth. Thank you so much for watching. Chosen Sports is at war versus ESPN, and we are fighting every single day to be bigger than them. So please subscribe and support our channel every day. It means a lot.